Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is a pajama day today and my house is just a chaotic mess, but I am about to cook a meal and I thought I would throw on the camera because I think this would be a good start to a budget meals style video. I've done a few of these in the past. You guys seem to enjoy them. I find they've been particularly helpful for my fellow Canadians. I love watching these budget meal videos, but a lot of them are from Americans, and while they are lovely videos and do give a lot of good tips, the prices really aren't comparable to Canadian prices. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and things are getting a little crazy. So if you are Canadian and if you are specifically in Ontario, I feel like the meals that I'm going to show in this video will be really easy for you to recreate at pretty much the same price, depending on, you know, sales prices in your specific area and all that jazz. But yes, let's get into the video. Okay, so this first meal is a sausage and cabbage dish. It sounds kind of boring and straightforward, but it's actually so delicious. I crave it all the time. And what I like about it is you can pretty much sub in any meat protein. So today I'm gonna do mild Italian pork sausage just because it was on sale and I have a lot of it. So I got a flat of 10 sausages for $11 from Walmart actually, but I know Costco has a lot of good sales on their ground meats as well. So I will break down the prices of all this in the description box once I sit down to actually edit and upload this video. But yes, 3 Italian sausages, 1 bag of coleslaw. You could totally get a cabbage and shred your own cabbage. I have just found with prices lately, this is more cost effective. This was $1.99 from Walmart, and that was on sale from $2.99, so I did pick up 2, but even at $2.99, it's not a bad price because the last time I bought a cabbage, it was almost $6 just for a regular old small cabbage. So yay for Canadian grocery prices. And honestly, like, that is all you need, especially because the pork sausage has a lot of seasoning already in it. Sometimes I do this with ground beef, sometimes I do this with ground turkey or ground chicken. Honestly, it's so versatile and it always comes out really yummy. I'm going to pop it over rice. So this is a half a cup of rice. It's basmati. I'm gonna dump it in here, add the water, and start that while I share the rest of this. Okay, my rice is cooking away. I'm just gonna break up my sausage as it starts to cook. And once it is almost fully cooked through, I'm gonna add my cabbage coleslaw mix. So the other thing I'll say is I often will jazz this up with bell pepper, zucchini. I'll shred bell pepper, zucchini, maybe add some extra carrot to this, but you don't have to. So normally I would do that, but I'm going to show this in its most basic form today just for the sake of this video. Actually, JK, I have decided to add a small onion. I'm just going to roughly chop this and I'm going to throw that in right away so it can soften down while the sausage finishes cooking. Okay, so that's cooking down really nicely. Now this is where things get optional and you can kind of play around depending on what you have in your pantry and what fits your budget. I would recommend adding ginger and garlic. So either fresh ginger and fresh garlic or powdered garlic and powdered ginger. I've done both and it pretty much turns out the same every time. I just happen to have fresh ginger right now, so I peeled some and chopped some, and I'm adding in 1 garlic clove chopped up as well. But again, you can use powdered and it would be just as fine. You could also totally omit this, and this is still a really flavorful dish. So now that the garlic and ginger are fragrant, I'm gonna take this whole bag of coleslaw mix and dump it right in there. Don't worry if it seems like a lot, it does cook down significantly. If I was adding bell pepper, I would do that at this point as well. Okay, my rice is done. The cabbage has cooked down about halfway. It still has a ways to go, but now I'm gonna add in some of my liquid seasonings. So again, this stuff is optional, but if you have them, it will make a big difference. So the first thing is soy sauce. I don't have soy sauce, but I have tamari, and we often sub in tamari for soy sauce. So a tablespoon of that. Sesame oil, a tablespoon of sesame oil makes this divine, and also a tablespoon of rice vinegar. I am almost out, so I might need to add a little bit of something else. I've also done this before with just white wine vinegar, and that works fine as well. So again, you can get creative and use what you have on hand. I find that having seasonings like this on hand, they're not expensive to stock up on. I think this is like $2.47 at Walmart, and this is under $4 at Walmart, and a little goes a long way, so you can use it in so many recipes before you'd have to restock again. And you can get soy sauce for cheap. I feel like if you had to choose between all of these, I would at least add in a tablespoon of soy sauce or tamari, and it adds a lot of flavor. Okay, so here you have it all finished and plated. I added some sriracha because I like things spicy, and it definitely complements this dish. Any hot sauce really would be really yummy on this. I find hot sauce is a really cheap way to add flavor to a dish if you're low on seasonings in your pantry. But yeah, this is it. I am so excited and ready to dig in. I really like this dish for a number of reasons. The first is that it has a ton of fiber in it. It's very filling because of the cabbage. It's also such a cozy meal. It's great for colder evenings, especially in the winter, which we are in the middle of December right now. The other thing I like is doing this with sausage, specifically because it comes pre-seasoned. So if you don't have a lot of seasonings in your cabinet or in your pantry already, it makes it easier to pull together a flavorful dish on a budget. That is it. I'm gonna go enjoy, and I'll pop you on over to the next recipe. Hello, it is the next day, and I still look like this. It has just been like 2 days of cleaning. You know, those like 4 days leading up to Christmas where everything just seems to happen at once. That's how it's been. So it's just, you know, there hasn't been a ton of time for self-care. Tonight is the night. But anyways, I digress. This is a video about food. I'm about to pop together a little tuna wrap, but it is not just any old tuna wrap, and I wanted to show you how you can jazz it up and make it more of an event for yourself on a budget. I've been really enjoying these. You can also use canned, I'm gonna use canned tuna, but you can also use canned chicken, and it turns out amazing. And there's lots of substitutions you can make. There's lots of things you can leave out depending on your budget, depending on what you have in your pantry. So yeah, let's hop into it. Okay, here's a little overview of what we're using. It looks like a lot, but again, I'll explain things that you can add, things that you can leave out. This is one of my favorite things lately. The key elements of this are some kind of wrap. I am using these protein up wraps just because this is what I had from my grocery order. They were on sale, and they have a good amount of protein per wrap. And a can of protein like tuna or chicken. I'm using tuna. Now we get into the fun stuff. So this is like a spicy jalapeno tuna wrap. So I'm using diced onion. This is just half, actually no, this is like a quarter of a large red onion that I had left over in the fridge. I'm adding some dill pickle. I'm just gonna do one per can just because it's kind of a beefy dill pickle. Again, you can use any brand of pickle that you have, or if you make your own pickles from your garden. Some jalapenos. I get these from Walmart, and they're like under $2 a jar. And I'm just using about that much. I'm gonna roughly chop up the jalapeno and the dill pickle. Then you need mayo. This is just my homemade mayo. I just whipped up a batch. You can use whatever mayo you have. I'm finding it's very cost effective to make my own mayo. It's just 1 egg, a cup of oil. I used olive oil today, but you could use canola oil. And then I actually add some pickle brine because it kind of acts like a preservative and makes the mayo last a little bit longer in the fridge. Also, it tastes extra delicious. And then I just have some salt in there, so super simple. Then I'm gonna add mustard to my wrap. If you have fresh dill is better. I only have dried. You could also totally leave the dill out. I just noticed a difference when I add it in. So, and it's something I always keep in my pantry, so I'm gonna add dill. And then Greek yogurt for a little bit of extra protein is going in there as well. The only other thing I normally add to this that I don't have on hand right now is bell pepper, and that's just because they weren't on sale when I did my grocery order, so I didn't buy them because they're a little outrageously priced. I feel like you could also throw in some frozen bell pepper, red, yellow, orange, whatever you have, and that would work pretty well as well. But anyways, I'm gonna throw this all into a bowl and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. Just before I mix it up, we've got the tuna under there, some Dijon mustard. You could use whatever mustard you have on hand. One big old pickle chopped up, a handful of pickled jalapenos chopped up, some mayo. I probably did like a heaping tablespoon of mayo, a heaping tablespoon of Greek yogurt. I've got my dill and my onion, and again, I would add bell pepper if I had it, probably like half a bell pepper into here for 1 can of tuna. But this is what we're working with today. I'm gonna mix this all up, and then I'm gonna pop it into a wrap and grill it up and make it all warm and toasty, and it's going to be divine. Okay, so I just have it on medium here, and normally I would do a bunch of these at a time, but my husband isn't home, so I'm going to wait to make the rest of them until he's home so that it's fresh and warm and crispy for him. So I'm just making mine right now. So I'm gonna let it toast up on the bottom, then I'm gonna flip it and let it get just as toasty on top, and then I'm gonna transfer it to a cutting board and cut it in half and enjoy. But I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done.